Hola, bienvenidos. Coming in, what's the temperature? It's a bit warm. With another story. Y'all ready to do the randomizer and see what we're gonna tell today? Let's get the randomizer out. Don't tell me I closed it. I closed the randomizer. One sec, fellas. Boom. Boom. Oh, here's one. Okay. This is a cool one, too. This is another cool one. Just had to finish that. 7% Reinhardt's Red Apple Cider. Strong. Stainer, Ontario. Crafted with care in Stainer, Ontario, using crisp orchard apples generously fermented for a full, true taste. Return for a refund where applicable. Consigne le prescrit. I'm only drinking because I'm in 1977, doing some classic prog rock. When I get to 1979, I was doing a bit of the Yay, the Summer Snow, to get to the Disco Divine, doing some Disco Divine in the Summer Snow, and dancing to some electro, and the reggae dub, smoking some marijuana, but I don't like doing that much stuff. I just had to do it because I'm in the 70s. And 1977, when you're doing some metal and some punk rock and some classic prog rock and some stuff like that, a little bit of drink is good, especially for punk. You got to get really drunk for punk. Anyway, so coming in from 1977, here's a story that happened in Japan in must be 2018. So I'm in Japan. I've probably been there for I'm unsure. I forget how I was getting on the subway without the card, but maybe I was just paying with money. I think that's must have been there for like a month, less than a month, maybe more. I don't know. But anyway, I gotta go somewhere. I don't know where I gotta go. Probably just try to find a job, or go to Tokyo to find a laptop charger, I think it was, because I forgot the laptop charger at home and I had to go find one. I never ended up finding this laptop charger. I had to get it mailed from Mississauga, from the GTA, from the Grand Theft Auto 6 City. That's what Gusty Baby said. We were talking about where's the I was like, yo, I think GTA 6 is going to take place in London or Tokyo. And he's like, yo, it's going to take place in the 6. And I was like, yo, GTA 6. If they don't utilize that, they've failed a one-time opportunity. I don't think they are, though. But maybe they will. Anyway, maybe it'll be part of it. I heard GTA 6 is a bunch of places and bunch of decades. So maybe the Time Machine album will be on the radio in GTA 6. Anyway, so I go to the subway station. It's about a 10-minute walk from where I live. And I'm trying to figure out how to get a card or or make it easier to get on the subway, because everyone else would get on the subway so easy, and I had to like do some next things, get a ticket, but everyone had this card. So I live right beside a college in Japan, in Kanagawa, and so all the students there'd be rush hour with the students every after school in the mornings, and you just see a billion students walking up and down, or like a billion students at this subway at certain times. So this is the time I happened to be at the subway station, and everyone has to go to this, like, it's like an ATM but for subway tickets. So I'm waiting in line, I'm standing there, and I'm just like, I forget how, but someone realized I was having an issue, and he came up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, yo?" He spoke perfect English, and he had come to Japan from, I don't want to say where because I might be wrong, but I think it was China, and he was going to college for what was it? Electricity stuff. All I remember is like when he was talking about amperes and wattages and stuff. Anyway, so I'm at the thing trying to figure out like the ticket to get, because you have to get like the exact ticket to the exact place you need to go. It's not just like you get a general ticket and put it in. It's like you need to like know where you're gonna get off, and you gotta get that ticket. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess. But this guy came up and he's like, "Yo, you need help and stuff?" He's like, "Yo, you need this card. This card's way easier. The Pasmo is legendary. The Pasmo card, Pasmo. Yo, Japan, Pasmo gets you to places you gotta go." Anyway, so goes to the guy, blah blah blah. I don't know, maybe he wasn't from China. Maybe he spoke perfect English, and he spoke perfect Japanese. Spoke perfect Nihongo. Nihongo wakarimasu. Kareshi wa Nihongo wakarimasu. Yes. 男の子は私の彼氏です。本当に、本当、マジで、と、彼氏はとってもセクシー、めちゃくちゃ美しい。はい、そうだね。と、名前はタオですよ。タオ。So anyway, he goes to talk to the window for the subway person. Like if this ATM is not working, there's like a person you can talk to, and that's like directly beside it. So he goes to the window and he's like, konnichiwa. This guy needs a card. So the guy goes, blah blah blah, you pay this, whatever many yen, 1000 yen です。これはパスモ。はい、ありがとうございました。はい。So I get a card, and he's like, yeah, you use this, you tap it on the thing, and you go wherever you want. You gotta load the card up. He's saying, you put your card in this ATM thing, and you put your money in, and you like load it with whatever money you need. So I was like, sick. This guy's cool. Like this guy is like an angel. So he's like, yeah, I'm going on the subway too. You get on the subway together, and we just start chatting away, and I'm wearing this pink raincoat. I look legendary, and he's a sexy baby boy with sexy muscles and a tight t-shirt, and I'm in this big long pink raincoat with a doggy hat. It's a hat that has a little dog and a a dog house and a cloud that's smiling. I made that hat because I thought I was going to start a dog walking business, and I went door to door with leashes hanging out of my bag and treats in my bag and that hat on, and I'm like, do you need your dog walked? Do you need your dog walked? And everyone's like, no, they already walked. No. I'm like, okay. And I walked around for like 6 hours. No one wanted me to walk the dog, and I went home and I'm like defeated, like I'm not doing this again. But I remember this one guy sitting in his driveway with his garage open, and I went up to him. I'm like, hey, you need your dog walked? Do you have a dog? He's like, yeah, I have a dog, but, or like, yeah, he's like, I don't need to walk though. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to do a dog walking business. He's like, oh, how long you been doing this? I'm like, oh, it's my first 4 hours. He's like, oh, you just started, man. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you want, and so like when people would say like, nah, I'm like, oh, well, does your dog want a treat? And he'd be like, no. Or some of them would be like, okay. Like that guy who was sitting there, he's like, okay. And I would just give him some treats here to give it to your dog. Anyway, get back to Japan and the story. We got to get to the punchline. The whole thing is the punchline. It's not a punch. This is not violent. This is chill. So I'm on the subway with him. Going to Tokyo to try to find a thing. I don't know where he was going. I guess back home. We were just coming back from school, and we're chilling and talking. He's like, yeah, my name is Tao. I'm like, oh, Tao. And I start like telling him like, oh, I just listened to Tao Te Ching. And like, it's like the way. Tao means the way. He's like, yeah, like my parents were telling me like Tao means like a road or like a path. I'm like, yeah, you could like think of it like that, like like a literal road or like a metaphorical road, like the path to like the path of your life. We're just talking about that, and then we start talking about like what we do, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to like find the people who make these holograms for the Olympics, because I want to present this show to the Olympics and you know, be the opening ceremony. And it's this super show with like every one of the senses is involved, like the smell, the sight, the sound, the hearing, the taste, the feeling. You know, there's weather, there's temperature, there's scents, there's music, there's holograms, and I need to find them because I was researching, and Japan has the most advanced right now because of the Olympics, and it's not this like 1800s technology Tupac hologram stuff. This was literally like 1800s technology. The Tupac hologram and the Michael Jackson holograms were actually technology that was already from like 1800s in stage plays, when they would have a ghost walk on stage, and like it was just a clear sheet that no one could notice stretched across the front of the stage, and like there was lights just like shining up on it, so like it was like just reflected on a wall basically. But I was just like, you know, like now I've seen that there's prototypes of holograms that like you can touch, like Star Wars stuff, and like it can float above your head, and actually you can actually walk around it and see the full dimensions of it. But like it's so prototype, it like burns it. What it does is it burns the air molecules, and it's really prototype, so you can touch it but it burns you. And we're just talking about that, and he's talking about his stuff. He's like, oh, I'm in college for like I don't know what it was. I don't want to say physics, but it was like engineering. I'm pretty sure it was engineering. And because he was talking about like amperes, he did this whole project and he was showing me this PowerPoint, and like how he was like studying the amperes of something. Amperes are like basically like voltages or the wattage of this, and he's like building this certain device. I don't know what device it was, but it did something more efficient than the original does. And it was super cool. He was getting really into it, and it was like, I wish I could explain more, but it was really, I want to say, humbly over my head. I was trying to listen really hard. I wish I could meet Tao again, but he was focused on what he was doing. Anyway, so we get to talking about that stuff, and then I just started talking about, and it was like really inspiring, first of all, because the passion, and how it was in the same vein of the same lane, electricity and that. So then I just we're like standing in the back of the bus, in the back of the subway, where like it's just us and we're just chilling. We're standing. I would usually stand on the subways. Sometimes I would sit, but I love to stand because first of all, I just wanted to like let people sit, and secondly, I just wanted my legs to be working. I don't know. So anyway, we're just standing there talking. It's daytime. It's probably like 1 a.m., 2 p.m., or 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Anyway, so I start saying, I forget how we got into it, but it was like we're getting into we start getting it from like physical stuff to like ethereal and spiritual talk. And I'm like, yo, you can like see energy and stuff. I don't know what I was saying. I don't even know if I was saying, I don't remember. But I just remember saying, like, Tao, I'll try to, I was probably saying like you could see people like there's certain information in the ether that is accessible. And I just, and like, just like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like demonstrate. So I said, yo, I'll guess your birthday. And I'm just on a whim, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but because when I went to Japan, I was like in a very solitude state where I was on a very, I had first of all, I wanted to do this hologram stuff and figure that out, build this show. And another thing was I wanted to just basically be alone in the mountains meditating, but be alone in Japan meditating, and just really like delving into the mind and consciousness and what is beyond that. And fasting, like I fasted for 2 weeks. Wait, I fasted for a week straight with no food, no water. And off and on fasted. And it would open so many dimensions, because when you fast for a week more with no food, water, and your body's like completely empty of foods and water, the first thing you eat, you'll realize every effect it has on you. Like everything is a drug. So I didn't eat anything, drink anything. I laid on my back. I literally laid on my back for 7 days straight. And after that, I had ramen. And you could feel everything it does to you. And then I did it again. I fasted for a long time. Got rid of every food disappeared. And then I had like fish. And like only fish. And you could feel everything, like, those rainbows you see in the oil when the sunlight hits. All that was in my eyeballs. Like I could see that everywhere. And then like I did it again, and I fasted again. Got rid of everything. Had an orange. Just an orange, and you could feel every effect this orange has on you. Anyway, so I felt like really clear, and I was like really like confident about like, there's so much in every dimension to access. Like in the physical dimension, you can access so much. You could be like super strong. You could get a lot of money. You could be very beautiful looking, In the middle dimension, you can make super beautiful music, beautiful paintings. You could make great art and great inventions. In in the high dimensions, you can see things on different planets. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? There's so much, and it's all here, and it's maybe not so much. Maybe it's just the right amount. Maybe it's not enough. So anyway, I'm like, yo, Tao, I'll guess your birthday. And then he's like, okay. And I start seeing, I'm like, okay, just think of your birthday. And I'm looking at him. I'm looking around his head. And there's this yellow golden light, golden energy, golden light of the Tao, you know? And it's just this information. It's literally like holographic information floating around him in the ether, in the atmosphere, in the Taiki. Taiki naka desu. This information, chi naka, chi no naka, and it's not saying anything, but it's saying everything. It's like September. Like, the information is just expressing September. And I'm like, September. And he starts like, his eyes start widening. And I start looking at the information more. And I'm like, 20. And his eyes widen more. And I'm like, 2. And he's like, whoa. I guessed it dead on, right? And I was like shocked too. Like, I was like, holy, really? Like, we both had like a moment like, yo, this stuff works. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just thought I was doing something cool, and it worked. So yeah, that was that. Guessed his birthday dead on. And then he's like, I'll guess yours. Okay. He said March something. March 31st, maybe. I don't know what he said, but it wasn't. I was trying to like really like transmit it or like give it to him so he could see what I saw and be like, I don't know what I saw, but like, I'm going to try to like help you see exactly. Like, I want you to guess this birthday, February 13th, exactly dead on. The only thing that would be cooler is if I guessed his year too, and his time of birth, and his blood type, and his mom and dad's name, and the hospital he was born in, and the size of his pee-pee, and his and how much he weighed. Nah, I don't know. Like, I'm sure you could find that, but that was enough to be like, whoa, that's super inspiring. Anyway, so Tao and I just shook hands, boom, or probably props or something. Peace, he got off on his stop, and I don't know. It's a very cool moment. And that's basically what happened. I got off, went to Tokyo, tried to find this charger, did not, and went back home and continued the journey. So remember, life isn't always what it seems, but it's always what it seems. Nah, I don't know. Just have fun, be happy. And to this day, who knows, maybe I had an extremely lucky guess. Maybe I saw something. Maybe it was both. I thought I was seeing something, but it was just an extremely lucky guess. And maybe I just try to practice and discern what is the correct information and what is not, what is the truth and what is not. I try to understand. We have to, if we think we're seeing something like that, make sure it's not your illusionary imagination and it's actually discernible that this is truly the ingrainment and the the RAM in the matrix, the memory in the matrix, or it might be just your just false. Although it's up to you to experiment and do your research and know your understanding and discover your own awareness if this is what we really can do. And don't hurt yourself or anyone in the process of this. If you're on a journey to do the same thing and think, I know, I saw this in the information, I saw this in the ether. For example, I saw you cheating on me. And it's just your ego creating such a grandly detailed and real story that is only a story, that you're just writing some fiction, but it's so detailed and so utterly real that it tricks you. This is also possible. If I can see the true information of Tao's birthday in the ether around him, I can also create an extremely real illusion. So just everyone work together and help each other find the truth. Don't lie. If someone actually is able to understand and does actually think they know something, do not lie. If you relay it to them, let them know, like, oh that did happen. If it didn't, be like, no, that was not what was happening. I think you were seeing some illusionary stuff. But don't go too deep even into that. Be right here in the center. There is the physical, there is the spiritual material, and the material spiritual. And there's the center of that in the void. Just be true. Yes, truth is objective. Yes, there are many things that can be true, though there is a truth that is utterly true. And as us, and as ourselves, which are us, and a reflection before the reflection that showed it was ourselves and us, if we would like to be happy, be true and aid in this journey that we are in, if it is even a journey. And let us live joyfully. Let us be proper, and let us know. Let us yes, and let us know what we want to know. Because such wisdom and such love comes from that. And such wisdom and such love is in that. And such genius peace is what? Such genius peace is what? Farewell. And also to help oneself to know the truth, and beyond what the essence of that is, within and without oneself as you are, honesty with the oneself, however you make that out to be, and what you see honesty as in, as of, is. Make sure it's for the proper, responsible freedom of oneself, which is all. The oneself is all, and all is the oneself. Or is it? Maybe it's not, maybe it is. Either way, do you wish to be sad or do you wish to be happy? Sometimes it's okay to be sad, but just whatever is good for you. And you must look deep into that statement, because you may think something is good for you in a compulsive pleasure sense, and then sometime later realize you hurt some people, or you caused issues to your own well-being. This is what responsible freedom is. Being so conscious that you know every move of the chessboard, so you can move in such a way that everything is benefiting everything, and that is freedom. It's a paradox. Responsible freedom instead of chaotic freedom, which I could do whatever I want. I don't care. I'm free. And you're doing chaotic stuff, dangerous stuff, hurting people around you because you're quote unquote free. But if you're responsible free, you know, you are so conscious, you know every card in the deck, every combination of chess moves that you can make, and then you can move in the correct way to be clearly happy. マジな話。これは多分は大変の重要。はい。永遠の覚えてるできました。おください。お願いします。Then there will be no need to remember this, for it is always, truth is always there, truth is always here, even when it is not, and it's not when it is. そうだ。鑑みる。お別れ。はい。Peace. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. We're watching the stars, looking for the best, but expecting the worst. Are we gonna drop the bomb?